French, think fashion, food and sheer fabulousness. Think stylish, sleek, sexy and suave. Some might also think, when they think French, impatient, a little bit nonchalant, maybe even downright rude. Well, when it comes to French cars, it's the latter of these credentials that perhaps puts people off somewhat, the unpredictability of them. But it's also the sleek, sexy, absolute fabulousness of just looking at them that makes so many people want to own them. Whether it's determined by trends in food, fashion or society, there's no question that French cars are often truly inspired in their design. The brand new Renault Clio is a case in point. Just look at it. Gorgeous from every angle. This particular Frenchie was inspired by a concept car called the Desire, shown at the 2010 Paris Motor Show. I remember it well because it was just so darn sexy. You may only be able to see remnants in this 4th gen Clio, but the sexiness is definitely there. New Clio boasts LEDs as standard, and a gloss black finish on the side skirts that somewhat divided opinion on launch. I love it, and I also love the coupe styling. Hidden handles here in the rear door and sweeping lines up to the stylish but muscular rear. I think this is really a car that's going to appeal to both mesdames et messieurs. In my opinion, it is one of the best small car designs to hit our roads in quite some time. But the French aren't just about style when it comes to their cars, they're also about innovation and being at the forefront of new developments. And that goes down to something as basic as language. Did you know that there are lots of motoring words that come from French? Limousine, coupe, cabriolet, Grand Prix, even the word automobile apparently originated from the French for self-propelled. And Renault is right up there with its French automotive counterparts. This little number, launched in 1961, was seen as an estate when it first hit the market. But these days it's credited as being the forerunner for the modern hatchback. Around 1 million of these Renault 4s were sold after just 5 years in production. Jimmy, this is a fine example of a Renault 4 that you've brought us here today. You're quite an aficionado on Renaults. Tell us what made the Renault 4 so unique.
It was the poor man's car when it started out. Typically this one started out in Zimbabwe, old Rhodesia, made just outside of Harare. And you could put 4 people and the luggage in the back. This being a little 750cc, it was very light on juice, so ideal family car with lots of space and reliable, very reliable.
It was really about the basics, wasn't it? It was like coming as an entry-level car.
Absolutely. I can't remember the prices anymore, but I can remember being in Paris in the streets and seeing the students driving them with all different colored panels, where they just replace a panel, they don't even respray it. So yes, even today spare parts are available and quite cheap.
And tell us a little bit about how that 750cc engine performs.
We're not going to say perform, it operates, it works. On a trip down to Durban with the old cars, downhills 110 kilometers an hour, uphills 80, some hills 3rd gear. You know, but it goes very, very nice, and it's an experience, it's very nice.
How was this vehicle innovative as far as Renault was concerned? I mean, how did it set a trend in cars?
They started looking for something which is going to be different to anybody else. So they went for the box shape, where the seats can fold and you just create more space, a la scenic, that type of thing which we see today. You know, this really in the early 60s was the forerunner of the space car.
And that brings us to where we are today, and this fine specimen of a hatchback or small car. It offers everything the Renault 4 offered. All the basics in a great looking package. It's also got a small engine, but this one's all about innovation. And this little 0.9 litre 3-cylinder packs some punchy technology. Renault was one of the first to see the value of motorsport in helping it to sell cars. And that continues today as the RBRs rack up the podiums on the F1 circuit. This unique 66 kilowatt engine draws on Renault's Formula One expertise and development to offer a sprightly powertrain that follows the increasing trend towards downsizing capacity but slapping on a turbo. The engine block is all aluminium, which means it's 15 kilograms lighter than the old 1.2 litre engine it replaces, about 95 kilograms. It's probably about what Marius weighs. The hood poppers will notice that there is no exhaust manifold. That's because the turbo and the exhaust are integrated. What it means for you is better low-end torque. So when you're behind the wheel, you can put your foot down in 4th gear and you've pretty much got the guts to go. Although new Clio does boast 135 Newton meters of torque, and the engineers tell us that 90% of that is available from 1,650 to just over 5,200 RPMs, the Clio did battle a little bit around town in the second to third or third to fourth gear changes. But out on the open road it has no problem at all keeping up, and getting up to its top speed of 182 km an hour. The technology in here is such that even Gautengers can enjoy the turbo as it's less affected by altitude. You'll want to drive with the window down because the sound of that 3-cylinder engine is almost as addictive as the unexpected power you get from this tiny little power plant. There's also the surprisingly firm gear action, nice and precise, even verging on sporty, and the responsiveness from this chunky steering wheel. I'm also pleasantly surprised by the lack of Frenchness in the suspension. I hate that usually. There's no juddering, there's no noises, it handles the bumps really nicely. One thing I did find rather annoying was the sponginess of the accelerator, which seems to have a sticky point near the bottom. The techies explained to us that this is the point at which any auto driving aids would be deactivated, for example cruise control. Yes, I did say cruise control. Right from the bottom of the range model priced at 150,000 Rand, you get a whack load of spec in the new Clio. Safety is obviously top of the pile. You get driver, passenger, front and side airbags, ABS, EBD, stability control, all standard across all three models. Add another 20 grand and you get sat-nav, 16-inch alloys and a leather steering wheel. The top of the range Dynamique, priced just under 180,000 Rand, also gives you hands-free entry, rear electric windows, auto lights and wipers, 17-inch alloys and these lacquered black interior decorative bits. I'm amazed that Renault has managed to bring new Clio in at the price that it has. Just sitting in the cockpit, it feels so much more classy and expensive than it actually is. I love this glossy black finish. Yes, it might be slightly impractical, but I love the look of it. And the materials just have a feeling of quality about them. The touchscreen is simple and easy to use, and the sound system's not bad either. And it doesn't stop there. Renault claims that all the new tech on their stylish little baby means less maintenance cost. From the claimed 4.5 litres per 100 kilometres consumption figure to the absence of CO2 tax because Clio comes in at just 105 grams, right through to the manufacturer's bold statements that it will be easier to service and will last longer, hence lowering your maintenance costs. It's got all the style, class and sexiness that the French are known for, both inside and out. It's got all the innovation that Renault is known for under the hood. I think they're on to an absolute winner here. Car of the Year 2014? Watch this space.